Okay, one of you asked, I'm on my way to a casino here today. It's very cold. It's like just below zero right now. One of you asked for me to demonstrate this full self-driving feature of this car. I'm going to give it a really hard challenge here. I'm actually in my parking ramp, so I don't think it's going to be able to get me out of this parking ramp, but let's see what happens here. I'm going to put it in reverse. Oh, the seats automatically adjust. Okay, do that. And now if I pull the stalk down once, it doesn't do anything. Try again. Oh, it's unavailable. Okay, I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, appears to be trying to drive out of the ramp here. Oh my gosh. Oh, what's it doing? What's it doing?
Now turn left onto 9th Street East.
Oh, what's it gonna do? Jesus Christ, it's confused. Oh, this is too scary. It's still trying to figure this thing out here. What's it gonna do? Fuck, it's gonna go through the lane. Oh my gosh. Now it's confused again. So I'm gonna override it here and just pull through on my own. And get out of the ramp manually.
Please insert your parking ticket. Please
okay,
insert
the gate will open.
Ticket.
All right. Okay, so had to manually get out of the ramp. So now I'm gonna, let's see, pull the trigger down once here. It's not available, so I got to start driving. It told me to take a left. There's a car coming, so I'm going to wait a second here. What's that car going to do? Stand by. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pull out manually, and then as I start to roll here, I'll pull the trigger and see if it takes over. Okay, that's a happy sound. Okay, now it's driving itself up to the stoplight.
Now turn right onto Robert Street North.
Now there's some construction work being done here. Does it deal with that? It comes to a stop at the red light, and there's a green light. It's turning around the construction workers. And now it's pulling up to the next red light on its own. So I'll tell you two stories of having used it now twice where it made a mistake. I think it was a mistake. The first example is I was on the freeway going down the center of 4 lanes, at the second of 4 lanes to the left, and the car had to get to the rightmost lane to make an exit. And so there was my car's lane, there was an empty lane, and there was the rightmost lane had a bus in it. And the car signaled and started to turn into the right lane next to me.
500 feet, turn left onto 12th Street East.
And so this car started to turn itself into the next lane to the right, and the bus started turning into that lane to its left at the same time, meaning if the car had continued on its course, it would have hit the bus. And I didn't.
Now turn left onto 12th Street East.
It's making the turn. It's blinking on its own. It's making the turn on its own. But I didn't give it a chance to get close to the bus. I overrode it with my foot on the gas pedal, or I just grabbed the steering wheel.
In 500 feet, take the Interstate 94 West ramp on the left.
It just turned into the lane to my right. I don't know why. It shouldn't be in this lane to go. Oh, maybe it should. Anyway, that was the first mistake. It would have hit a bus, I think, on the freeway. The second mistake was less dangerous, but kind of more obvious. I was on a city street and came up to an intersection with stop and go lights.
Now take the Interstate 94 West ramp on the left.
And the car, the light turned yellow about 20 feet before I got to the intersection. The car kept rolling,
now
and then
take the Interstate 94 West ramp on the right.
And then just as it got to the intersection, it turned red, and the car stopped in the middle of the intersection. That ain't right. All right. Anyway, so it's working here so far. Let's see how I'll come back to you when I get out of the freeway here. Okay. So what I just
500 feet, take the Interstate 94 West. US 12 West ramp on the left.
So I just made a lane change.
Now take the Interstate 9.
So what has amazed me is that at, say, a four-way stop, there were 4 cars at the four-way intersection with four stop signs. And I know the rule, the car that gets there first gets to move first, or if you get there at the same time, the car to your right gets to move first. It sorted that out correctly. I don't know how it did that, but it sorted that negotiation correctly. The other thing was how it can see cars coming. If I'm at a stop sign and there are cars coming from my left and or right at some distance, but at some speed, how it knows to wait for those cars. Because how does it obviously can see those cars, but I don't know how it's doing it. So now it's taking me out on the freeway. The rest of this bus is probably not that interesting. So just let you know, except for my negotiating out of the parking ramp, it has made correct decisions ever since through the city I live in and now out onto the freeway. So I hope this was interesting to you all, and it's not at all about blackjack, but it is going to make traveling more interesting. Now it's making a lane change. Okay, safely. The car back there, but it's apparently far enough behind me. All right. See ya. I'll let you know what happens at the casino today. All right. I just got a lecture from the car because I'm looking so much at the cell phone here to make this recording. It's telling me I can't use it anymore. It's happened to me a couple times. It's made me realize how much time I spend, even when I'm normally driving, not looking at the road ahead. So this car can tell if my eyes aren't up and looking down the road. Anyway, I wanted to say that I won't. This feature will this free trial of this thing will expire in about 2 weeks, and I won't be subscribing. The subscription fee is $100 a month, and I'm not going to do that. However, I will. I'm planning a month-long trip in March, and for that trip,
now take exit 233B on the left.
For that trip, I just missed an exit. I'm not a very good driver. For that trip, I'm going to subscribe for that month. I'll pay the $100 for that month and use it on the trip. But I'm going to have to discipline myself to look down the road because it's not going to let me drive if I don't look down the road. All right, talk to you later. All right, I'm only going to have about 2 minutes left here. So I've only managed to play for an hour and a half, and for very dramatic reasons, at least in terms of this game.
Like I want to wait.
So I started playing at this casino. I brought in about $5,000, $6,000 worth of chips from my last visit here, which I didn't cash out because I didn't want to draw attention to myself, which was probably a good decision. Anyway, today I ended up going about all the way in with all those chips that I brought in, about $5,000, or exactly $5,000 out of pocket. So I think I pretty much lost everything that I had won last time here. And then, in the space of one hand, the very end of the shoe, I was dealt a pair of tens on one of my two hands, and I split them. I was heads up at the table. I split those tens. Ended up splitting those tens 4 times, and had my max bet out of 2 bets of $500, total of $1,000 on the table to start, and then I added, so that 5,000, add another 1,500, I think. Oh geez, I can't think and talk to you guys at the same time. Anyway, I ended up winning every single one of those split tens, as well as my other hand, which whatever it was. I think, the other hand was a double down, and I won that. So I went from being $5,000 out of pocket to plus 1,000 in one hand. That's very exciting. Believe me, I've been on the other side of that one where you all lose all that money. Anyway, and went on to win several more hands in the following shoes, and ended up about $6,000 in the good, but was backed off quite assertively, not aggressively, but assertively. And I spent way too much time at the cashier window. They're not used to, I guess, cashing out winnings like this, so the cashier was confused about how to go about it, and I had to run around the casino and get a player's card. I don't get it. That doesn't make sense, but this is a small town casino, so they're not used to this kind of thing. And I was assured that I'd be receiving a letter in the mail. I think it will probably be a trespass notice. I don't know. Although one of the managers did tell me that I could still play the slots here. So maybe it'll be a letter saying,